students. I hope you are well at your places. So, this is our part 3 of the story which we are discussing these days, and the story name is The Enemy. Students, before starting the reading of the chapter, I would like to tell you something, and that is, as you can see, my Tom is sitting with me. Can you see it? Very good. He said hi to everyone. Why I asked my Tom to sit on my lap? There is a reason behind it, and that is we are studying the enemy. And you know what is the conclusion of the enemy? Because this story is telling us that we must learn how love and compassion can make us better human being as opposed to prejudices and bias against other people with whom we do not share anything but the bond of being humans. So we are supposed to be good no matter how other people are treating us. So not only we are supposed to be good with humans, we are also supposed to be good towards our nature and other creatures. Like I am being good with my Tom. This is not cat, this is Tom. And I hope you understand the difference between cat and Tom. So how many knows the difference? I would like to listen from you people in comment section. So now my Tom, you can go. I am going to start my reading part. Thank you for being with us. All right. He's gone. Now coming on page number 26, and we are on the last paragraph of page number 26. So let's start the reading and then we'll understand it as we have been doing. Last but not the least, difficult words. So let's start the reading. A fisherman, perhaps, Sadao said, watched from his boat. He ran quickly down the steps and behind him. Hannah came, her white sleeves flying. A mile or two away, on either side, there were fishing villages. But here was only the bare and lonely coast, dangerous with rocks. The surf beyond the beach was spiked with rocks. Somehow the man had managed to come through them. He must be badly torn. They saw when they came toward him that indeed it was so. The sand on one side of him had already a stain of red soaking through. He is wounded, Sadao exclaimed. He made haste to the man who lay motionless, his face in the sand, an old cap stuck to his head, soaked with seawater. He was in wet rags of garments. Sadao stopped, Hannah at his side, and turned the man's head. They saw the face. A white man, Hannah whispered. Yes, it was a white man. Can you tell me why the white man's been repeated twice? Because as we started the story, we discussed that Japanese hate white men. And white man here means American. The wet cap fell away, and there was his wet yellow hair, long as though for many weeks it had not been cut, and upon his young and tortured face was a rough yellow beard. He was unconscious and knew nothing that they did for him. Now Sadao remembered the wound, and with his expert fingers he began to search for it. Blood flowed freshly at his touch. On the right side of his lower back, Sadao saw that a gun wound had been reopened. The flesh was blackened with powder. The flesh was blackened with powder. Sometimes, not many days ago, the man had been shot and had not been tended. It was bad chance that the rock had struck the wound. Oh, how is he bleeding? How is he bleeding? Hannah whispered again him in the solemn voice. The mist screened them now completely, and at this time of day no one came by. The fisherman had gone home, and even the chance beachcombers would have considered the day at an end. What shall we do with this man? Sadao muttered. But his trained hands seemed of their own will to be doing what they could do to snatch the fearful bleeding. He packed he packed the wound with the seas moss that strewed the beach. The man moaned with pain in his stupor, but he did not awaken. The best thing that we could do would be to put him back in the sea, Sadao said, answering himself. Now that the bleeding was stopped for the moment, he stood up and dusted the sand from his hand. Yes, undoubtedly that would be best, Hannah said steadily. But she continued to stare down at the motionless man. If we sheltered a white man in our house, we should be arrested, and if we turned him over as a prisoner, he would certainly die, Sadao said. The kindest thing would be to put him back into the sea, Hannah said, but neither of them moved. They were staring with a curious repulsion upon the inert figure. What is he? Hannah whispered. There is something about him that looks American. Sadao said. He took up the battered cap. Yes, there almost gone was the faint lettering. A sailor, he said, from an American warship. He spelled it out, U.S. Navy. The man was a prisoner of war. He has escaped, Hannah cried softly, and that is why he is wounded. In the back, Sadao agreed. They hesitated. They hesitated, looking at each other. Then Hannah said with resolution, Come, are we able to put him back into the sea? If I am able, are you? Sadao asked. No, Hannah said, but if you can do it alone. Sadao hesitated again. The strange thing is, he said, that if the man were whole, I could turn him over to the police without difficulty. I care nothing for him. He is my enemy. All Americans. All Americans are my enemy, and he is only a common fellow. You see how foolish his face is, but since he is wounded, you also cannot throw him back to the sea. Hannah said, Then there is only one thing to do. We must carry him into the house. So now, students, what happened now? Now a man has assured by their house, and when they came to know that this man is American, we seize the incidents by what they come to know the man is American, by removing the cap, by finding out the beard, the yellow beard, white face, and everything. They come to know that the man is American. But they were even trying not to take care of him, but being professional, being in the profession of helping others, they decided to help him. Now, what will happen in the story? This point is now what we will discuss in the next video will be the turning point of this story. So first, let's start marking or writing the difficult words, which are as follows. Our first word of today is beforehand. Beforehand, which means in advance. In advance. Next is flung up. Flung up is thrown up. Next is breaker. Breaker means strong wave. Strong wave. Next is staggered. Next is staggered. Staggered means walked unsteadily, walking non-properly, in an improper fashion. Next word is dropped. Dropped means let go. Let go. Next word is leaned. Leaned means to bend, like this way. Next word is railing. Railing means fence of iron bars. Fence of iron bars. Next word is washed. Next word is washed. Washed means carried away by water. Carried away by water. Next word is, our next word is stain. Stain. Stain means spot. Any spot. Next word is soaking. Soaking. Soaking means kind of absorbing. Yes, kind of absorbing. Next word is tortured. Tortured. Tortured means anguished. Right? Means like anguished. Our next word is unconscious. Unconscious. Unconscious means fainted. Fainted, not in proper consciousness. Our next word is, which is actually not a difficult word, but still we can mark it as difficult word, expert. Expert means specialist, having particular field of specialization, a field of expertise. Now there is a word powder. Here powder means the gunpowder. Next word is tended. Tended means looked after. To look after, taking care, kind of. Next word is struck. Struck. Struck means collided. Struck means collided. Next word is solemn. Next word is solemn. Solemn means earnest, or we can say serious. Next word is screened. Next word is screened. Screened means hidden, something which is not easily visible. Next word is beachcombers. Next word is beachcombers. Person who searched shore debris. A person who searched shore debris. Next word is muttered. Muttered means uttered in low, indistinct tone. It means saying something in not proper voice. Next word is staunch. Staunch means to stop the bleeding. Next word is moss. Moss, we know, plants growing in dense mats near waters. Strewed. Our next word is strewed. Strewed means something which is like scattered. Our next word is stupor. Stupor means unconsciousness again. So did you notice that they have used different words, synonyms for consciousness and unconsciousness. Alright, our next word is steadily. Next word is steadily. Steadily means calmly, in a calm fashion. Our next word is sheltered. Sheltered means protected, to provide protection. Next word is repulsion. Here repulsion means hatred, not affectionate towards something or someone. Our next word is inert. Inert. Inert means motionless. Alright. Our next word is battered. Battered. Battered means torn. Torn. Our next word is lettering. Lettering means inscribed letters. Inscribed letters. Our last but not the least word is hesitated. Hesitated means something which is not done in a confident manner. Alright, so these are the difficult words of pages which we have covered today. So I hope you will write these down in your fair notebook and try to read out the story by your own also, as I always say that this will help you a lot. Alright, we'll be back with the twist and turn in the story in our next video. Thank you, have a nice day, and do not forget to take care of your loved ones. Be very good towards nature and other creatures of the nature. Stay protected. Thank you. Have a nice day.